Hello, NHL. The networks recorded, confessed, and demonstrated they were involved with racketeering, and their uses of pseudo positive involved with that is uses of they're also using the theater and the sensibilities in relationship to the theater associated with their networks at the same time, pretending that that could be inseparable from their roles with child offenders. Now, these are also roles with women interbranch, intercities, interstates. Worse than that. So NHL, there are proofs that you guys are involved with this, with the racket. In other words, the NFL definitely is. Kaepernick and all that. Right through administrations, they're preventing free speech. They're forging names and switching name roles. If you go into a court, you should be able to counter what through time is attaching little kids and each age of factory nature to fake words, fake locations, fake relationships to other. They're forging and switching names into branch so you can't get a response through time. These are people involved with a whole bunch of natures of racketeering, intercities, interstates, former director of the FBI down, associated with Boston, involved like with all those crazy things, bombed with the thing. These are people intercity, intercades of states involved with the ones on off CCSU. Please get me a response because these are people involved with too many police forces at once or too many overt criminal enterprises at once. We're sick. Even on Facebook, they're recorded and involved, trying to pretend things, pretend to be the fake locations with interbranch cliques involved with more tied to this principal sex offenders campus near me, more tied to the prosecutors involved with these schools, more tied to the recorded delusions involved with this. They are worse than capable with each fact human nature. These are not just opinions. These are mandated law being prevented, and they're attaching me to fake conversations and words. They're forcing people to speak through others too, especially per a whole bunch of people with Boston tied to this Dillon family. Kevin Dillon, Sean Dillon, Anna Dillon, Sean Dillon with military, foreign and domestic racketeering. With Marines, foreign and domestic racketeering with little child offenders, with physical delusions, criminal foreign influence racketeering with the little pathology of what they said of Hartford as. George Washington came here right before the last battle of the Revolutionary War. He had to leave overt slavery with color, right between New York and Boston. That's why they still have shootings all the time and through time in the north end of Hartford, in New Haven. We have sick natures and souls of and as the identity of each branch of government individually grouped together, like the FBI, CIA. There were recorded involved racketeering also uses of the stewards of the witness protection program. Also, as the ones involved with the judges, forging names, switching names, even female judges doing that to force child sex crime acts roles, other natures of medical crime acts roles, other natures of child abuses, even the uses of their Facebook pages. The Facebook page of New Britain Superior Court is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with various natures of courts that are involved with crimes with their patients and criminals with child sex offenders. Further, with the family members, further racketeering on and off great stores, any store, Stop and Shop, on and off family of those Big Y. This is a family involved with a Phil Colo and extended involved with a place right at DePietro K, right on top of the highway, and then in the woods behind the Big Y. All that involved, that whole route, Maple Street, all the way to Berlin, involved racketeering with them, all on off the state judicial branch office. Offensive evidence perception, offensive evidence reception crimes. These are people who have real sick, punk, fake but real sick. They'll hurt each age of fact you be in collusion with their little maintain needed off on campuses of each age, forsaken life progressions tied to that. There's also exploiting how they have mixed with that each age of fact should be nature fake private schools, who's homeschooled, involved with these FBI families, involved like that, who criminally involved. We have FBI, CIA, pretending they have mental diagnosis, a whole bunch of nations where one of the things that is an indicator that the person has a mental diagnosis if they pretend that they're a conspiracy theory about FBI or CIA. Now, see, they're recorded racketeering with those people, attaching me to fake conversations with the same house in my area. Whole bunch of people for through time. A lot of people involved with the former director of the FBI and his co-defendants involved racketeering with these people, with the new and past neighbors too. He rolls with them. These are people crimes with uses of elderly homes, fact treatment nature values that would never be fathomed, acceptable, but this way. Hear many pray. See, we need NHL. Please give me a response because everyone's scared further with the child sex offenders and with the roles with the media racketeering and the interbranch natures with everyone speaking through others. There's so in other words, does anyone know about whether they had that woman called me on Twitter who that was? In other words, asking me if I was her fan. I don't even want to know. But in other words, I want because this is also involved with the various net. In other words, they're using sports identity, things like that. People with opinions from backgrounds that are being used to prevent mandated law. In relationship to this, through time, intercities connected sickly distinctly, but sickly non-distinctly too, by and as the same minority that effectively is recorded, consciously maintained, needing to hide how they stack live names and groups and families, needed to hide lives of others. Forced sustained ways, so they're going to get behavior. They have to lie about my behavior now because I caught them with child offenders. I caught them with database crimes roles that are vertical and are horizontal. In our intercities, maintain racketeering methods, roles a whole bunch of police forms, uses of it, need to hide life progressions from presidents by a whole bunch of police forms with East Hartford, other cities involved racketeering acts on and off CCSU, with judges, fake things in the databases. Those prison clicks are also involved with them racketeering fake things with databases, racketeering rules with the uses of the killers and of the body dumping spots of those killers for the same vertical and horizontal crime racketeering roles, only capable of being sick fake punks. Now I can't even get a response because I need to counter the judges' criminal uses of each of my campuses. They're forging in names and switching names with you guys with NFL. There are two. Now, I don't know them personally, but they're family members. Their parents and roles with Phil Colog's ties with child offenders and their roles with the O'Brien family. What are their names? The Wydell brothers. There's a Wydell family involved with the Phil Collo, further involved with a whole bunch of people associated with racketeering with child sex offenders, uses of the, uses of their racketeering with databases with kids' schools through time, spreading lies through girls, acting things in relationship to that, boys and girls. Their databases illusion um, vertically and horizontally. Whole bunch of people recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with all the clubs, intercities of each nature, all the database relationships, internature of them, and including especially interbranch and intercampuses, sickly, distinctly, and non-distinctly, privately, semi-sickly, distinctly, non-distinctly. All that associated with and has the value of overt criminal enterprises in private, again, juxtaposed. Military, foreign, and domestic recorded and involved with racketeering with people with with spots on the water in Middletown, involved with a whole bunch of houses connected, like there's a Jennifer Kennepicky that is recorded, confessed, and demonstrated by John Mayer or other involved with her mother and with a John Laurie. I don't know. And people associated with him, with a Joe Aiello and his sister, are involved with racketeering. They tricked me into a location with them and tied to that. And that was is their motivations then for what is their roles now recorded with a whole bunch of natures of crime with child sex offenders, gun crimes, evidence of relationship to that, roles with it, even when I pulled the trigger when I was a kid, knowing I wasn't going to hit anyone with the way I did it. But that's not no joke at all. But see, that was after they were already involved with gun racketeering, with police firms associated with the middle school. And those are people who recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved racketeering with the people when I was in grammar school faking things into databases. Like 2 times with a Debbie Gold. I don't know what they wrote. She got mad to pretend we had a conversation before that. Sequence shift racketeering. Also, that was after in the past, before the year before, the O'Brien family had demonstrated confessions. Now these are O'Briens involved with the rest of the new Newtown Sandy Hook, involved with a whole bunch of natures, even foreign interstates, retired and standing fire guys, fire inspectors. Uses either that or they just flash the badge. Involved with the houses with the sex offenders, families further involved with criminal uses of houses in my area, involved with networks with police farms, foreign and domestic private, involved racketeering, uses of them, with tricks where they pretend things and then they get them to make opinions, and then they use evidences where their evidences, all kinds of natures of evidences crimes, like for sequence shifting, forging names, switching names, torturing, making confessions for torture, demonstrating that they forged names and switched names with police from a whole bunch of different departments that are involved with through time intercities, a whole bunch of people with our side's roles with a whole bunch of other nations, racketeering where the highway entrances are, everywhere they are. Those locations are used for racketeering. Especially look where they put the weather with the police department, the private one for CCSU. Note how they moved it off campus because these are sequence shifting. These are also value switching, name switching, tied to their line progressions. These are offensive evidence perception and reception racketeering roles with uses of color, with uses of opinions by color, including especially identities of groups, because it is recorded where and how they effectively maintained and maintain Black Student Union as racketeering roles in collusion with interbranch uses of black and of white and of every value treatment for racketeering cover-ups, for offensive evidence perception, and worse. So I'm not lawyer, not police from not criminal. We need to have them NHL. So that's an NFL family. That's one of the NFL families. Also the Bucky Jones. There's 2 white twin brothers, I guess. I don't know if they're twins or what. I never seen them close. They're like big guys though. They hit the whole road one time and they jogged by. That was specifically so I could see them in relationship to what I was, that was leading up to and in the 2006 case with the former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin. There was a picture on the wall. It was a former Justice Nations or Winters. His lawyer was not supposed to be there for him, the record or whatever. But those people were involved with further racketeering uses of that case and leading up to and in that case, as one's also further racketeering from Connecticut intercampuses leading up to and in the Trade Center. Whole bunch of people with the Scalora family recorded and confessed, demonstrated racketeering with police forms, foreign and domestic. intercities, identity thefts against me, a whole bunch of people with racketeering with them on and off two route highway with they all say that they all have ties to this Dillon family involved with them criminally and with a Legos Cafe. I don't know him. His neighbors recorded, confessed, and demonstrated they're involved, attaching me to fake locations, fake conversations about the CIA too, with this Dillon family, spreading those rumors online on Facebook. And now they all did that before I responded. So they weren't repeating what I said online. That's us why they're trying to they're preventing mandated law because the courts are already confessed and recorded with their own Facebook pages involved with those racketeering roles with child sex offenders. Those their patients and criminals are also racketeering with the vertical and horizontal database crimes. Uses of the houses in my area that were facilitated the racketeering at each of the cancers I went to. Why don't I get a response for it? Because I need to get a. They all confessed, recorded, demonstrated that judges are involved with it criminally, and their police. I tried to report that in a pattern that also is a recorded pattern of evidences. Somebody needs a response, need mandated law to be followed to see what I'm using for evidences. And then you're going to see that they've been faking a whole bunch of things. So they have people, we have modern nations capable of doing negotiations with critical things tied to nuclear weapons, which is good because with enough criminality, you could just take all the money from that and set all the make all the nations fight because they can't defend their physical delusions. Each modern nation, including here, has physical delusions and criminal foreign influence fact tributation styles forced by nature itself. So NHL, they're starting problems intercity, interstates. You know, there's a small world, big world, where we have the FBI, former director of the FBI, down, involved with these racketeering leading up to the Trade Center attack clicks. And in the 2006 case, recorded, confessed, involved racketeering with other natures of courts leading up to that. With their family members pretending to perceive and record things into databases with an as offensive as vertical and horizontal racketeering roles. Whole bunch of police forms on off CCSU involved with the name Hunter, especially if they made that up, especially with Mr. Biden's son having had that name, and you put a sick punk fake with that name right around the corner from the Capitol building too. Uses of Park Street through time, recorded and involved uses of each culture with racketeering, sick fake sides, CT2 side. So a whole bunch of people from Weathersfield recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved racketeering with these people. In other words, I need a goddamn response. These are people through time, database racketeering. They don't have any integrity, and so we need to have countered the women roles with the child defenders because it's also interstates and worse than that. I know, but it's distinctly and non-distinctly sick in Boston, the schools, as it is here, as they are here, but they're connected people. That's why, and how Fred Grisey and the Mazzucato family are associated with criminal uses of bakeries, of the family members of those bakeries, of everyone. They say if they sustain the crimes, these are the interbranch already using offensive evidence perception criminal. It's a little spot, Franklin Avenue, Hartford, Connecticut, where you could go to get a bakery or something. It's the only option. They put all these narratives, all in the words. With media through time, journalists maintained racketeering roles with the judges involved with criminal uses of with roles with CCSU, with a whole bunch of people from my town recorded, confessed, and demonstrated crimes with police farms associated with everything, even the DMV, their location, unlawful location, especially if there was ever any murders around there, then they will all be attributable to the Weathersfield police racketeering uses of that area. Roles with a Perone family, a whole bunch of other people with downtown Hartford recorded, confessed, involved racketeering, identity thefts, sequence shifts, faking, acting, illusions. They trick you into standing into. You will show up at a place because you're going to think they make it look like you knew them before that. A whole bunch of ways. Then they fake things happening other than actually happened. These are the same people associated with all kinds of victim reactions to how they all end up the same sexual circles, involved with the same database racketeering roles, and identity thefts of others racketeering roles, sequence shifts included. Our identities are lied about when we're attached to fake location, fake sequences. They're using the right to lie to hide originally and still states and areas worse than witch trials, worse than just identity theft, torture of everyone. When you use the color as that, pretend that's a value nature system that could actually that's what you afforded. That's what we're going to be agreed. Get the hell out. We have cars now. We have self-valued, glorified the pathology of infrastructure before cars forced for the torture of our founders, racketeering with the zoning laws, racketeering with the databases, racketeering with the religious sensibility clicks. I can't go to those religious spots. Oh, can you help me help with counter some interbranch? I was already there, but they forged names, switched names. They what do you can't fight with a court. What am I supposed to get mad at them and yell? No, they'll put me in jail for the rest of my life. In other words, they know that. So they make offensive crimes against you as courts, as roles with the other branches of governments they've already been long crime acting with, offensively through time, through uses of what they keep and kept. So we only have places to interact that has sensibilities that are just that aren't gonna they're gonna deal with the law one way. Regardless if it's in other words, they're not gonna give up the laws, criminal foreign racketeering roles, acts and natures. So we have to have a place. All the clubs are involved with the racketeering with Fox News, with WFSB, with the same people, even with my extended family members. Need to hide lie progressions. Need to need to hide sequence racketeering against me roles because the little sick fucking fake punks on and off CCSU influences to it, on and off their roles with religious spots involved with it. In other words, in other words, nothing personal. If that's in the background thought, what I say, I'm not trying to debate people. If they want to have people want to fight, they want to pretend things and exploit how everyone's going to lie about it in the background. Because in other words, these are people involved with the church spots, and the sensibilities with the golfing spots and stuff like that. They get roped in, locked into to evidence racketeering, relied upon needing to pretend I don't realize things, pretend I don't remember things right. Pretend I don't really remember the identity of the ground used as for criminality, where with fact treatment nature tied to it, where values are tied to these locations. Don't pretend to be a man and then be reliant upon needing to hide and plot. Don't be pretend. Don't leave women judges with an as that nature. It's disgusting originally and still. Their roles with women child offenders. They are as women child offender roles, with the sick men needing recorded with them needing to hide their life progressions, for their roles with vertical and horizontal database crimes, especially with psychology clicks, so criminally sick with triage places, because they can force you in for mental evaluation there. They've used that originally and still for crime methods like pretending you had conversations with people there, forging names, switching names. Various natures of court through time originally and still propagated slavery rules with the methods of attaching people because they're in front of you. You can attach them to fake behavior, pretended perceived, pretended spoke, fake things recorded into databases with the other branches of government doing that too. They don't have judicial independence. When they say they want judicial independence, they're saying it as means to pretend they're against what they're already exploited criminally. Science never spoke for Hartford, Connecticut, let alone. These are not means, except one way redeems. So this is at the end of a whip, modern nations, which says, oh, we can't afford to help the people. People stacked in like that. Oh, it's space, not even space. There are 50,000 places you can make 50,000 times better than they are and stack all those people. Can fit it, right? You don't you have to counter the suburbs are tactically caused to and has a negative value nature relationship to nature too, though. Specifically per the smart ass method that knew that it was gonna use that to keep all valuing the real cause of negative value nature progression that nature blamed all the things others itself as a method mastered to keep every means to get away with it. Like whatever shared policing of stores is involved with all the people with this Kerr family and with the town line drive with the whole bunch of people tied to the Delafair family and the Spada family recorded, confessed, and demonstrated FBI corruption also involved uses of um, the Mike Pandolf and confessions in the past about their relationship to that Chinese food place, which is a good Chinese food place. Not knocking the Chinese food. It's just that he's involved with racketeering with a whole bunch of people tied to to judges retiring and standing and their family members associated with the Samuel Dix house. And as the people involved with that pattern to CCSU, also a computer teacher I had recorded confessed involved with dishonesty and his roles with the racketeering, these racketeering groups, and his son's involvements with it. Also with people with boxing gyms, as people involved with them criminally. People that don't even buy the box from them, in other words. These are also people involved interstates criminally, as the people of the law, in collusion with a whole bunch of other nations of law, sick fake punks, suits and ties. They are incapable of defending their fact sheeping nature, qualities, natures, and styles in us at the same time, from what needs to demonstrate their current criminal ceaseless natures of logic. Logic's course is this vaccine. So I want to know whether they're forging names, switching names, forcing that sustained, because they already have invested when since I was a kid. They attached me to the other illusions tied to the courts attaching everyone to fake locations. As the adults now roles, recorded how to maintain self-value for other personal criminal reasons. Then you have to call people criminals as people that don't even know you. And they're, oh, we know you, we see you on Facebook. We see you on, why, on YouTube. Respond. Have them respond to one name in sequence. These are a whole bunch of people with these Mendez police and with the extended family members of this Ray Colella, with the Phil Colella further involved, racketeering with state police, with forensic locations with them through time. Let's go. These came in when I was in fourth grade. Involved himself, already involved, racketeering with color tied to the confessions of the interbranch that demonstrated, confessed, and recorded through time how it's involved with vertical and horizontal racketeering, also involved with polls, all kinds of ways not one modern nation is capable of election. They need to offensively pretend to be against dictators, pretend to be against before voting because we don't care if we're criminally foreign or racketeering natures. We just need to pretend we're positive. We need to respond to mandated law. We need to have Facebook respond. Please respond here. You want me to go on there? Respond here. Why? You guys took positions and stacked a whole bunch of more names and natures and needs and interests, forging names and switching names, enforcing sustained abuse of each age of factory natures through time. So I was a kid with these people involved with these with sick motherfuckers now as adults, sick with kids. The fuck out of here, motherfucker. Who the fuck is who is using my name in the background? Give me the fucking response for this fucking the degenerates associated with this Leahy family. Put them on fucking paper now. Give me a fucking response. I told you they fucking mailed me fake conversations, mail crimes. Let's fucking go. Get me a fucking response now. If he fucking denies it, get me have him do it now. I'm not playing the more mail crimes because they're also involved with the FBI with that. I want to fucking demonstrate what's already fucking recorded. You see what the fuck I'm saying? I want to talk about the wire crimes already there. I don't need fucking more information. There are other natures of predicate acts. Fucking crime rolls with little kids through time. I just remind. Don't make me seek you out because in other words, I'll talk about every fucking thing I know about you because you don't know fucking shit about me. And I know what you already are involved with. We're talking about these evidence people. People with evidence are involved with all kinds of racketeering, and they know that. And there've been all kinds of life progressions tied to that, even even vertically. In other words, preemptively. All kinds of forging names, switching names, crime methods. Those are evidences. Those crime methods. Those motivations actually recorded are methods. Those methods preventing people from countering criminal uses of defendants in collusion with racketeering methods, with evidences, clicks, already since before they were defendants. Get the hell out of here. These are a whole bunch of people, racketeering acts, every age of campus I went to connected. There's a Mr. Pruzzi involved with this sickly too, per them at CCSU. No. And these are people involved with racketeering with all kinds of cases already. All kinds of prison stewardships also involved with the worst natures of criminals, other motivations, natures of the same nature, but still federal racketeering, mail crime rolls, wire crime rolls, database crime rolls. We don't have an identity here. We have a whole bunch of nations grouped forcing that to shut up. That's what speaks for Hartford. And then we're trained to speak New York. We're going to train. We're going to give them means to counter with us. Game! We'll train. We're going to bring the news. So we're going to give the news ownership, this news company, right to the spot. And we're going to game on all the offensive evidence, reception, and perception predators upon that spot. Because that's the only reason those spots are standing. We will gain as tribes. We will return the Legion's name back native pure. In Campus 2, we need the name returned. Right now we do. So NHL, please give me a response because you guys have various natures of uses of every type of semi-positive, fake positive to get people in the background and collusion making opinions where they're preventing mandated law against people they don't even know. I don't know those but they're recorded confessed also involved with the racketeering with the Facebook. Various pages I had involved with various natures of police forms. There's the various and their family members involved racketeering with judges and their family members, prosecutors, their family members, their personal ties. All that is used to keep them criminally foreign influence, military, foreign, and domestic. Like this Paul Kelly. I only know him in context recorded, confessed in the past demonstrated with and as the ones now in the future, now further involved with the child defenders into campuses tied. I learned a lot. Everything you learn a lot too when you see how they can't respond. They've been forging and switching names into branch. Women into branch have been crimes with child offenders, pretending things recorded, even with the weather's so with sick men. Foxy must ban. So Fox Connecticut News, we're gonna have all. We're gonna go. We're gonna have to gather as New York to fight them because they're involved with all kinds of natures of police forms, foreign domestic racket. They're all victim predators, though. They're not gonna allow free speech. They're not gonna relent on you. Someone must teach. We have on and off the state of we have all of the database relationship with Hartford. We have a boot black sign. So across the street from the Homeland Security involved with the racketeering here with them roles. Uses of families associated with downtown Hartford. Uses of them in the background with my name. Little tricks with it. They can't pretend that in the background is real on paper now. Forging names, switching names, racketeering roles with clicks through time, intercities, vertical and horizontal racketeering, age of fact nature, connected. I'm repeating it because no one's responding and because I'm being blocked off the social media and you can't record in the phone because they're pretending they're just trying to hide their legitimate shared policing and such. They're pretending whatever they can. They're faking things recorded, using torture methods recorded. That's what I'm trying to report. That has to be demonstrated on here. It has to be demonstrated on video too, because the Fox Connecticut News is involved with behavior crimes with them, with the as roles spreading lies with the cliques, with the interbranch that privately know them and personally and family members wise, with their roles, uses of their kids, with lie progressions. Tell them to pretend things about me, so they can pretend not that I'm not trying. They're not criminally preventing mandated law. So we have a whole bunch of state police recorded and confessed, demonstrated still criminally foreign influence database relationships, roles with a whole bunch of people from my area, former director of the FBI down, involved crimes with child offenders, with the houses in my area involved with them, with forensic labs, also with the transition from ACA to RICO criminally. A whole bunch of people recorded, confessed, and demonstrated crimes with the body dumping of spotted Billy Grasso and with his gang that are recorded, confessed, and demonstrated federal crimes with the state police and the forensics clicks with their extended family member, like a Phil Colo, also involved with databases, racketeering, drugs, crimes. When I was in grammar school, when I was in high school, I never had a class with him. I only saw him one time getting handed a golden watch by one of the one of the um one of the female principal who recorded, confessed, and demonstrated was coached the roles, hiding what I filmed about them dealing drugs with people that didn't go to my school but the same age from off campuses, involved racketeering with people from my grammar school, and then in my middle school, and with a summer school class tied to the middle school. That is also tied to the people with Trinity College and CCSU that were used criminally, tied to criminal uses of the golfing spots. I forgot what the topic was. In other words, everything's nuts. We have no legal representation, and we have high predators originally and still at the bench, and all tied to them and into branch. All we need for recorded is for original evolution is now. We have more people, past and present, associated with the Trade Center, World Trade Center, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with the intercampuses racketeering further with the child offenders. I wish now, you guys would just take a position and pick one name in sequence as judges and say sorry to the family members. And what coward family member punk people are pretending other in the background that what I'm saying is not true always. I wish they would be not stop being coward punks in the background and take a position on paper and stop sustaining their racketeering roles and natures and pretended perceived things and pretended recorded things through the kids. Now these, and I would like a response and an apology to the parents from former Governor Malloy, also involved with further child sex offenders and racketeering with a Joshua Julian, with heard of further racketeering with judges and police forms leading up to in cases, and with child sex offenders involved with them. Uses of their roles with uses of Facebook with that. Facebook, let's get a response for uses of crimes with principal sex offender campus and uses of Facebook pages of New Britain Superior Court with that. Also inside with the confessions and threats from police regarding their roles with untimely deaths connected and with a whole bunch of people associated with a Mexican restaurant in Rocky Hill with his Rob Rodriguez. Also recorded and confessed involved with a whole bunch of people on Maple Street involved racketeering with the judges, retired and standing police forms, retired and standing anti-branch police forms, retired and military form, retired and standing criminally foreign influence, all kinds of medical corruption databases, vertical, horizontal. Oh my God, every time they lie in the news, it's more. They know they don't have integrity. There are all kinds of look, New York City, we're going to take control now because CNN doesn't want to follow the rules. Or they don't haven't heard me or lied when they do. And this is because Connecticut can't ask them. WFSB, TNH, Fox Connecticut News, racketeering acts with a whole bunch of people with the FBI, with a whole bunch of criminal enterprise confessions, recorded racketeering acts rolls with them. Uses of the witness protection program, the same houses, crimes with the child sex offenders, witness protection program. I mean, so same ones that crimes with through time with the forensics clinics.